So hello everyone and welcome to Career Launcher. So basically, I hope you all are aware, and if you are not aware, let me discuss that IIM Bangalore from this year onwards have launched UG courses for BSc Honors in Economics and BSc Honors in Data Science. I'm sure you must be aware. So this class is actually regarding specifically for personal interview, because those who are actually eligible for interview. Because once you go inside uh, the interview board generally asks some questions related with GK and current affairs as well. So we'll be discussing about that. We'll little bit discuss. I'm sure you must be aware of how to go for interview, wearing formal dresses and all. Like you must have been taught in your classes. But today we will discuss little bit more towards the topics that can be asked in the interview, specifically GK related. So both are related with economics. So we'll discuss some key important words or key important terms related with economics, and we will discuss what is data science, a little bit, a basic idea. Okay, and I have seen the syllabus also of both the courses, and the key important terms or things related with that we will discuss. Plus, in today's class, we will discuss the recent news in the last 2-3 months, because generally the interviewer, the person who is taking your interview, asking your interview, they ask sometimes question related with recent events. Okay, specifically you are going in the field of economics, so they can ask some question related with that as well. Okay, and other than that, interview is not only about the economics, it is about the general things that are happening in the last, let's say, 1 or 2 months. They might not ask 6 months or 8 months old news, but they will ask things which are around it, around your interview time, like in December or January if there is any event happening. For example, recently Venezuela, we have seen Venezuelan president captured by USA. Then we have seen Iran protest and many other things. So we'll be talking about that also. Now Republic Day is very near, so they can ask about these things. So that we are going to actually discuss it in today's class. So let us begin with, I think the slide is visible. If the slide is visible, please write yes. So that we are going to actually. If I'm audible, visible, if the slide is visible, if everything is fine, please write yes in the comments so that we can begin with the class. Is my voice clear? The slide is visible? I hope so. तो देखो यही न्यूज़ थे ना कि IIM Bangalore has 2 courses, like coming up with the 2 courses, है ना, BSc Honors in Data Science, in Economics and Data Science. ठीक है, इसमें माइनर में डेटा साइंस, इसमें माइनर में इकोनॉमिक्स एंड बिजनेस है. सो बेसिकली व्हेन यू आर प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर द इंटरव्यू ऑफ दिस एग्जाम, यू हैव टू प्रिपेयर स्पेसिफिकली फोकस ऑन इकोनॉमिक्स एंड डेटा साइंस, है ना. So that is the idea behind this, and I'm sure you must be aware. So per program there is 40 students in tech, and these are the age limit and educational requirement. You should have passed class 12th with at least 60% marks in maths. I mean, these are the basic conditions that you should be knowing about it. I'm sure you must be aware of it. ठीक है, फिर 4-year प्रोग्राम होता है. सो आफ्टर 3 years you can exit also. सो इसमें देखो क्या क्या, इकोनॉमिक्स, डेटा साइंस, philosophy, ethics, business, ये सभी, but these 2 are the important keywords that you should be knowing. The fees, etc. ये सब mentioned है. Now, I'm sure you must be aware how you go for personal interview. जैसे formals are generally you have to wear the formal dress, है ना, जैसे सूट, कोट सूट वगैरह पहनते हैं, कोट वगैरह या फॉर्मल ड्रेस. इफ यू आर अ फीमेल यू कैन वियर अ साड़ी, है ना, but should be formal looking sari, not like we are it should not, like sari should not be like you are going in a wedding dress. No, it should be like a formal type sari, है ना. Our coat, it should be full formal, etc., है ना. The formal shoes should be there, etc. I'm sure you must be aware of these things. We are not going in that detail because I believe you should be knowing about it. ये सब बेसिक चीज है जो आपको पता होनी चाहिए और आपको पता होगा. आई एम श्योर अबाउट इट. Now, first of all, let's talk about the course that you are going to take admission. Why I'm saying, because sometimes people generally fill the form, उनको पता भी नहीं होता है कि अच्छा like इंटरव्यू में क्या पूछा जाएगा या क्या चीज के लिए मैंने अप्लाई किया प्रॉपरली. सो फर्स्ट यू शुड नो बैचलर ऑफ साइंस ऑनर्स इन इकोनॉमिक्स. ओके, 4-year प्रोग्राम है ना. 3 year के बाद आप यू कैन ड्रॉप इट, है ना. क्लास 12th और इक्विवेलेंट रिकॉग्नाइज्ड बोर्ड, दे आर टॉकिंग अबाउट डाटा साइंस इकोनॉमिक्स, है ना. तो इसमें क्या क्या है सेमेस्टर्स में. So the keywords I'm highlighting it so that if they ask questions, you should be knowing. जैसे ये सब ना pure, these are pure theories that will be taught in your सेमेस्टर्स, है ना. बट जैसे कुछ बेसिक चीज यू शुड नो व्हाट इज मशीन लर्निंग, मनी एंड बैंकिंग, बेसिक इकोनॉमिक्स यू शुड नो, जीडीपी क्या होता है, रेपो रेट, व्हाट इज रेपो रेट, दे कैन आस्क इट दैट ओके यू आर गोइंग इन इकोनॉमिक्स फील्ड, है ना. सो दे विल आस्क व्हाट इज रेपो रेट, हु डिसाइड्स रेपो रेट, okay, how do you calculate GDP of a country, okay. So these are basic things, है ना. We are not going very much in detail. Machine learning, what is AI and machine learning, है ना. What is valuation, investment, ठीक है. तो बेसिक चीज होना चाहिए. अब गेम थ्योरी वगैरह, these are high level theories that will be taught in your college, so they'll not ask about it, they will ask basic things. What is environmental science, तो बेसिक चीजें आपसे पूछ सकते हैं इंटरव्यू में. You are preparing for these things, है ना. तो आपको ये सब आता है कि नहीं, that is what, like ethics वगैरह पूछते हैं. But we'll discuss little bit an overall idea of the economics first. So I'm sure you must be aware, दो तरह के economics होता है, एक माइक्रो लेवल इकोनॉमिक्स, एक मैक्रो इकोनॉमिक्स. So नाम से ही पता चला, माइक्रो बेसिक एलिमेंट्स विद इन द इकोनॉमी, है ना. इंडिविजुअल सेंट्रिक जो होता है इकोनॉमिक्स, दैट्स कॉल्ड एज माइक्रो इकोनॉमिक्स, है ना, है ना. इंडिविजुअल का एग्जांपल हाउस होल्ड, फर्म, बायर, सेलर्स, इससे रिलेटेड. मैक्रो इकोनॉमिक्स ओवरऑल कंट्री लेवल की, जैसे जीडीपी कैलकुलेशन एटसेट्रा, है ना, फैक्टर्स ऑफ प्रोडक्शन ऑफ द कंट्री एटसेट्रा, इन्फ्लेशन ऑफ अ कंट्री, तो उसमें मैक्रो इकोनॉमिक्स है, उसे पढ़ाया जाता है. माइक्रो स्मॉलर इंडिविजुअल लेवल पर इकोनॉमिक्स, एट द इंडिविजुअल लेवल, हाउस होल्ड, इंडिविजुअल, फैमिली, उससे रिलेटेड जो इकोनॉमिक्स होती है, ठीक है. सो दीज आर बेसिक थिंग्स यू शुड बी नोइंग. जैसे ये पता होना चाहिए, 4 फैक्टर्स ऑफ प्रोडक्शन, इसको कहते हैं फैक्टर्स ऑफ प्रोडक्शन. इट्स वेरी फेमस. दीज आर द बेसिक थिंग्स यू शुड नो इन इकोनॉमिक्स. LLCE, लैंड, लेबर, कैपिटल, एंटरप्राइज, एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप और बिजनेसमैनशिप, ठीक है. तो लैंड के बदले दो रेम्यूनरेशन मिलता है, तो इसको हम WIPR, विप्रो होता ना है. सो आई हैव रिमेंबर्ड लाइक दिस, इसमें कर दो वेज, इंटरेस्ट, प्रॉफिट, रेंट. सो वेज मिलेगा लेबर को, लैंड, इफ यू रेंट द लैंड यू विल गेट द रेंट, कैपिटल व्हेन यू लाइक, एंड एंटरप्राइज, प्रॉफिट. सो व्हेन यू सेट अप अ बिजनेस, the intention is to get the profit, है ना. Capital when you invest, or when the bank give you loan as a capital to a company, so this is actually the bank gets the interest, ठीक है. So this is actually the factors of production, and this is actually called as factor income. So I'm just giving a basic idea about it, and these are factors of production. A rough idea about the economics, ठीक है. मैंने आपको एक रफ आइडिया दिया है, ओके. सो यू शुड नो अबाउट दीज थिंग्स. देन ये होता है सर्कुलर फ्लो ऑफ इकोनॉमी. लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल, हाउस होल्ड मतलब क्या, फैमिली को कहते हैं इकोनॉमिक्स टर्म. मान लीजिए कि फादर है, मदर है, चिल्ड्रन 1, चिल्ड्रन 2, so this is household, ठीक है. सो हाउसहोल्ड क्या करते हैं, मार्केट से जाके गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज बाई करते हैं, है ना. और गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज कहां से आता है, फर्म से आता है, कंपनी से आएगा. देन दे बाई एंड दे गिव मनी, ठीक है. हाउस होल्ड जो है वो जो है गवर्नमेंट को टैक्स भी देती, लिखा है ना, तो ये वाला हाउस होल्ड गिव टैक्सेस टू द गवर्नमेंट, ठीक है. और फैक्टर्स ऑफ प्रोडक्शन से, मान लो हाउस होल्ड का कोई आदमी, मान ली फादर है या मदर है, ये लोग जा रहे हैं, काम कर रहे हैं, जॉब कर रहे हैं, एंड दे आर गेटिंग द सैलरी, वही ना, वेज, इंटरेस्ट, प्रॉफिट, रेट, इसमें से कोई एक मिल रहा होगा. आउट ऑफ दीज 4 द फैमिली मेंबर्स आर गेटिंग दिस, ठीक है. सो दिस इज एक्चुअली द आइडिया ऑफ सर्कुलर फ्लो ऑफ इकोनॉमी. एक बेसिक आइडिया दे दिया कि कैसे इंटरेक्शन होता है एटसेट्रा, है ना. एंड दैट इज हाउ द थिंग वर्क्स, ठीक है. यू गो एंड अपना सेविंग्स को, फाइनेंशियल सेविंग्स को बैंक में डालते हो, बैंक अकाउंट में, कुछ टैक्स गवर्नमेंट को दे देते हो, है ना. दीज आर द थिंग्स. गवर्नमेंट आप पर स्पेंड करती है, गवर्नमेंट एक्सपेंडिचर. सो दीज आर द थिंग्स like how the goods and services, the market, the government, and the factors of production. Factors of production means land, labor, capital, entrepreneur, है ना. They interact with the household, families, and the firms and the government, how they interact. That is actually shown in circular flow of income in economics. ठीक है, बस एक बेसिक आइडिया दिया. Now you should know the most important thing, which is called as GDP. ये से पूछ सकते हैं कि you are going to do like a course in economics. What is the meaning of GDP? These are basic economic terms. बहुत high level term नहीं पूछा जाएगा, ठीक है. But basic thing, gross domestic product. It is the total value of final goods and services produced within a country's border. ठीक है, यानी आपकी कंट्री के अंदर, this is the country's border. एक तो ये हुआ, है ना. और ये लक्षद्वीप एंड अंडमान निकोबार, this is also the part of, है ना, India. ये पूरा the entire India, and of course Lakshadweep and Andaman is part of India. So if any economic activity, whether done by citizen or non-citizen, so monetary value of that whether it produces a goods or a services, will be added in India's GDP. कोई भी इकोनॉमिक एक्टिविटी जो इंडिया की जमीन धरती पर हो रहा हो, चाहे वो भारत के नागरिक कर रहे हो, नॉन सिटीजन कर रहे हो, और वो गुड्स एंड सर्विस प्रोड्यूस हो रहा हो, तो उसका मॉनेटरी वैल्यू जो है जीडीपी में कैलकुलेट होगा. नाउ आई हैव वन क्वेश्चन. ओके, imagine an Iranian oil company comes to India, set up a plant and produces the goods. Will that be calculated in India's GDP or not? Yes or no? Gross domestic product. Yes or no? Please tell me. Anyone? Please tell me in the comments. Since the production is happening in India's territory, yes, it will be added. मैंने बोला ना, gross domestic product, the production or the goods and services, if it is produced within our country's border, no matter whether it is done by a citizen or non-citizen, that will be added in GDP. Okay. But there is another term called as gross national product. ये GDP एक होता है gross domestic product, another is gross national product. इसमें क्या होता है? Indian citizen should be performing this, and it can be in India or outside also. Okay. For example, if an Indian citizen is working in India, okay, Indian citizen working in India doing the job, so it will be added in India's GDP as well as GNP. But if Indian citizen, let's say, go to Saudi Arabia and doing the job there, so that salary will be added in India's GNP, but not in India's GDP, because gross national, that person is an Indian national, even if he is working outside or abroad. Okay. But GDP of India not. Why? Because the person is doing job in the territory of Saudi Arabia. Okay. So that is why you should be clear about GDP and GNP. अगर इतना भी नहीं समझ में आ रहा तो कम से कम at least you should know about GDP. Total value of all the final goods and services produced in a domestic territory, यानी country के अंदर होना चाहिए. And GDP is C plus I plus G plus X. Consumption plus investment plus government expenditure plus X minus M. मतलब होता है export minus import. इस तरह कैलकुलेट किया था. We are not going in that detail. है ना? GDP को ऐसे कैलकुलेट किया था. But we are not going in that detail how this calculation has come because it's slightly complicated. तो हाई लेवल का है. But एक रफ आइडिया होना चाहिए how GDP is calculated. ठीक है? That is what you should be knowing. Now एक और टर्म है इकोनॉमिक्स से रिलेटेड, दैट इज कॉल्ड एज रेपो रेट. ये अक्सर न्यूज में रहता है, इसलिए मैं बता दे रहा हूं. व्हाट इज रेपो रेट? कैन एनीवन टेल मी? So basically if RBI extend loans to the commercial bank, कोई भी कॉमर्शियल बैंक है उसको अगर RBI लोन दे रही है, कोई भी HDFC, ICICI, कोई भी, so that RBI is giving loan, so the interest rate जो था, मान लो interest rate is 4%, I'm just giving example. This interest rate is called as repo rate, the interest rate at which RBI gives loan. ठीक है. Now why it is important? Because with the help of this, by increasing and decreasing repo rate, inflation is controlled in the economy. I'm not explaining how because वो काफी लंबा चौड़ा हो जाएगा. That cannot be taught in one class. But just have an idea. The money supply in the economy is controlled by tweaking or changing the repo rate. Okay. So it is the interest rate at which a country's central bank lends money to commercial banks, typically for short periods. Okay. That is what you should be knowing. Now, who decides the repo rate? Because the changing of repo rate will impact the money supply in the economy. ठीक है, बस इतना पता होना चाहिए कि मनी सप्लाई पर असर पड़ता है, and it impacts the inflation. How it is done? Like for that, I have to explain it for 15-20 minutes separately. So currently we don't have time, but just have an idea that RBI extending loan to a bank, the interest rate on which this interest rate R is called as repo rate. And changing this interest rate impacts money supply in the economy and impacts money supply in the economy and impacts inflation. That is what you should be knowing. Okay. Now, who decides what should be the repo rate in India? That is decided by Monetary Policy Committee, MPC, which is actually a 6-member body. So 3-member is actually from Government of India and 3-member is from RBI. Out of these 3-member, one is RBI governor, who is the chairperson of that committee. Okay. Mr. Sanjay Malhotra is the RBI governor and he is the chairperson of Monetary Policy Committee. Okay. So they decide benchmark interest rates, benchmark interest rate like repo rate, etc. That is what you should be knowing. Okay. And with the help of it, inflation is controlled. ठीक है. So Monetary Policy Committee का target ये है. This is the target. That inflation मतलब वही महंगाई. ठीक है. Inflation means महंगाई. Inflation in India should be within 4 plus minus 2%. This is the target. इसका मतलब क्या हुआ? It should be within the range of 2 to 6%. 4 plus 2 6 हो गया. 4 minus 2 is 2. So this is the inflation target of India. Means the inflation should not be less than 2% and inflation should not be more than 6%. This is the target of RBI or Monetary Policy Committee of RBI in India. ठीक है. ये टारगेट है कि 6% से ज्यादा नहीं होना चाहिए और 2% से कम नहीं होना चाहिए. दैट इज व्हाट यू शुड बी नोइंग. तो ये एक बेसिक आइडिया दे दी इकोनॉमिक्स के बारे में. अब देखो इसमें एक चीज और है जो इस कोर्स है, इसमें मशीन लर्निंग की बात की जा रही है. सो आई विल एक्सप्लेन समथिंग अबाउट मशीन लर्निंग एंड एआई. एआई एंड मशीन लर्निंग बोथ आर लिंक्ड टू ईच अदर. सो आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस, यू नो what is artificial intelligence? Can anyone tell me in the comments? Because they will ask, you are going to study about machine learning, so the syllabus talks about that. Now the question is, they will ask what is machine learning and how it is linked with artificial intelligence. आप जो कोर्स करने जा रहे हो उसके सिलेबस में मशीन लर्निंग लिखा हुआ है, तो पूछ सकते हैं कि आपकी क्या राय है इस पर, क्या होता है. And nowadays it is very much in the news. What is artificial intelligence? Artificial मतलब अलग से बनाया गया है ना, रोबोटिक मशीन के द्वारा से रिलेटेड. इंटेलिजेंस मतलब क्या? अकल, जैसे हम लोग कहते हैं ना हिंदी में अकल. So basically artificial intelligence is the ability of computer to perform the task that is required by human intelligence like learning, reasoning, problem solving, perception, decision making. ये सब इंसान को सोचना पड़ता है. Brain of human has to think to solve this, है ना. सोचना, समझना, अंडरस्टैंड करना, रीजन करना कि अगर ऐसा होगा तो ऐसे करेंगे, ऐसा होगा तो ऐसे करेंगे, ना. दैट इज डन बाय ह्यूमंस. How to think and respond according to the situation. If this is learned by a machine, it is called as artificial intelligence. And it is done through the process of machine learning. Machine सीखता जाता है. Okay? For example, when you interact with ChatGPT, आप ChatGPT कुछ बोलोगे, नहीं समझा, फिर आप उसको एक्सप्लेन करोगे, तो वो लर्न करेगा. ओके, आई गॉट इट, आई अंडरस्टूड इट, यू मीन टू से दिस, है ना. सो विद द हेल्प ऑफ न्यू थिंग्स, द machine also learned it, and it is linked with machine learning. Artificial intelligence is the broad concept of machines mimicking human intelligence. ठीक है. तो मशीन को सिखाया जाता है, चैट जीपीटी को या किसी को, वो सब चीज सिखाई गई, taught through machine learning. It has been taught to various AI chatbots or AI softwares, है ना. So they learn through it, है ना, and they allow computers to learn from data and improve the experience rather than being explicitly programmed for every task. So over the period of time it keeps on improving. जैसे हम लोग कहते हैं कि ChatGPT has improved over a period of time. Why? So it has itself searched a lot of things and it learned कि अच्छा ऐसे नहीं ऐसे होता, ऐसे नहीं ऐसे होता. So over a period of time it is improving itself through machine learning. Through the experience it is learning and accordingly actually it is improving itself, है ना. So it's actually the process of artificial intelligence we have discussed. This is actually it is the ability of a machine or a computer to perform human like intelligence action like thinking, reasoning, है ना, सोचना, समझना, सॉल्व करना. और ये over a period of time machine learning से सीखता है. Machine, the chat GPT or any other chatbot or a computer or a machine learns through the process of machine learning over a period of time, how to respond to a particular situation. ऐसे बोल सकते हो, what is machine learning, so you can teach it like this. And both machine learning and artificial intelligence are linked to each other. That is how you can explain. ठीक है. तो बहुत सारे चैट जीपीटी के बाद गूगल बार्ड आया है ना, जिसको अब जेमिनी कहते हैं ना. There are many other tools, है ना. Perplexity is there and many other. You can search it, like DeepSeek of China is there. So there are many more. You know better than me. There are a lot of examples you yourself can give, है ना. अब ये सभी करके पूछते हैं कि अच्छा चैट जीपीटी में जीपीटी का फुल फॉर्म क्या है? जनरेटिव प्री ट्रेन ट्रांसफार्मर. So these are examples of generative AI. Generative pre-trained transformer. That is what you should be doing. ठीक है. Okay. So है ना. तो आपको जैसे आपने बहुत से एग्जांपल देखा हो कि मशीन लर्निंग कैसे होता है. I'm just giving example because this was mentioned in the syllabus. इसलिए मैं बता रहा हूं. हो सकता है इससे पूछे सर क्वेश्चन कि आपने सिलेबस देखा है कि नहीं. Have you seen the syllabus of the course that you are attending and that or that you want to attempt? तो उसमें मशीन लर्निंग लिखा तो आपको पता होना चाहिए. फॉर एग्जाम्पल दे कैन आस्क, जैसे आपने ये सब देखा होगा, जैसे यूट्यूब पर आपको देखो रिकमेंडेशन आता है. सो मशीन लर्न करते जाता है. अच्छा आपको ये वाला वीडियो पसंद है, ये वाला नहीं, कौन सा लाइक कर रहे हो, कौन सा स्किप कर रहे हो, एंड अकॉर्डिंगली दे विल रिकमेंड. यस और नो? That is also an example of machine learning. The YouTube algorithm is learning from you that, okay, you watch this, you like this video, you do not like this video, you are skipping this type of video. So they will recommend it accordingly. This is done, actually, this is a classic example of machine learning. Okay, that has to be very crystal clear. Okay. Now, another example is business e-commerce. Like, for example, these are used in Amazon or any other e-commerce industry. For example, I'm sure you must be aware, for example, if you open an Amazon app, or whatever you are searching it, they will promote that only in front of you. For example, if you have searched washing machine, so they will show you more about washing machine, or even in the Google ads also, because like that's the idea behind this. So this is also an example of machine learning. Again, Uber, airlines, the many like dynamic pricing जिसमें app में होता है, cab service में. So actually according to demand and location. For example, अगर यहाँ से यहाँ तक बहुत सारी टैक्सी मिली A से B लोकेशन में, there are too many taxis, so the cab price will be lesser. Okay, and if there are two less taxis in this route, so according to demand supply there will be more price. So this is how the app learns through machine learning. कहते हैं यहाँ पे प्राइस ज्यादा होना चाहिए, यहाँ पे कम होना चाहिए, है ना, डिमांड सप्लाई के हिसाब से. Even self-driving cars, that's also an example of machine learning, है ना. So these are some of the things you should be knowing about. ठीक है. एक और चीज जो सिलेबस में था मेंशन, another thing that was mentioned was they're talking about valuation. Investment तो आप समझते हो, है ना. So you buy share of any company, you are investing in that. Investment you understand. Valuation बता देता हूँ. Valuation term is very much mentioned. It refers to total value of shares. Total value of shares. इसको कहते हैं M cap, market capitalization. और valuation, है ना. For example, let's say there's a company XYZ and it is selling its one share, 1% share. I'm just giving 1% share at the price of 1 crore rupees. So I'm sure if you have watched Shark Tank India, you must have come across these types of things. So what is the total value of 100%? That is the total share price. You multiply with 100, so it will be 100 crore. So this is the valuation of this company. Total value of share is 100 crore rupees. That is what you should be knowing about. Okay, 100% share. Rupees 1 crore, 100% share, 100 crore rupees. So that is how valuation works. If the valuation of a company is around $1 billion, that company is called as unicorn. And I think India is having somewhere around 125 unicorns in India. Because these things do come in the news. So ये basic economics terms है, business terms है, जो आपको पता होने चाहिए. Because these things do come in the news. Okay. फिर एक और term syllabus में mention था environmental science. So I'm sure you must be aware environmental science. You can answer it. That is related with how environments are getting impacted through our process, through the development and all. तो ये तो आप अपने से कर लोगे. We are not going in that detail. ठीक है. अब BSc ऑनर्स डेटा साइंस, इसमें भी वही चीज है. Seven thing, data science. तो आपको data science same type of subject syllabus is there. You should know what is a data science. If they'll ask you in the interview that okay, you are attempting like you want to do BSc data science. What is the meaning of data science? And can you please explain with the help of an example? So data science, नाम से पता चला, data we are using it in a scientific way to get a result. Yes. So it integrates domain knowledge from underlying application, sectorized concept of refining statistics, data analysis to understand and analyze actual phenomena with data. बहुत simple सी चीज देखो, मैं आपको simple this actually should be done understood in a very simple way. We are studying large amount of data information to find some trend pattern and actually come up with a result. तो मैं बताता हूँ कैसे. So for example, let's say you take an example. जैसे ये भी एक डेटा साइंस एग्जांपल है, जैसे YouTube, Netflix पर रिकमेंडेशन होता है. बट इससे और अच्छा मैं आपको एग्जांपल देता हूँ. लेट मी शो द एग्जांपल ऑफ लेट्स से Flipkart or Amazon. Let's say you are a head of a e-commerce company. I'm just giving example in a regional unit. कोई e-commerce company, let's say Amazon है, Flipkart है, कोई भी e-commerce company. And data science, you are head of data science. Yeah, you have studied data science. आपको डेटा को यूज करना है फॉर द प्रॉफिट ऑफ योर कंपनी. तो कैसे? फॉर एग्जाम्पल लेट्स से यू आर, आई एम जस्ट गिविंग एग्जाम्पल, लेट्स से दिस इज दिल्ली एंड लेट्स से यू आर वर्किंग इन अ कंपनी, लेट्स से कॉल्ड एज अमेजन. आप अमेजन में जॉब कर रहे हो. तो आपकी कंपनी, आप यू आर द डेटा साइंस स्पेशलिस्ट. आई एम जस्ट गिविंग एग्जाम्पल. ओके, तो आपका काम ये है कि डेटा पता करना कि दिल्ली में कौन सी चीज ज्यादा बिकती है. मान लीजिए क्लोथिंग. I'm just giving example. So December में और January में there is extreme cold. So people prefer to buy jackets and sweaters. Too much. काफी हद तक सेल होता है. But again, let's say you are talking and you are comparing it with Mumbai, the data. The jackets and sweaters sold are very less. यहाँ कम बिकता है, यहाँ ज्यादा बिकता है. Why? Because in North India there is more cold as compared to Mumbai. Mumbai में you are that's actually in coastal areas and it has a moderating effect, and that's why in Mumbai you don't find too much cold. तो यहाँ जैकेट स्वेटर कम बिकेगा Amazon का और यहाँ ज्यादा बिकेगा दिल्ली में. So you have interpreted the data with the help of the past year experience that okay, too many jackets were sold in Delhi as compared to Mumbai. So you will try to arrange next year. You will try to arrange more jackets and sweater near Delhi. You will have more jackets and sweaters in your warehouse. जो go down होता है उसमें आप ज्यादा जैकेट स्वेटर रखवाओगे. I'm just giving an example. It like समझिए, सिर्फ एग्जांपल समझने के लिए. Because you have learned from the data of the previous year, है ना, that Delhi needs more jacket or sweater as compared to Mumbai or any other coastal South Indian cities. South India में even in December and January you will not find much cold. But if you are in North India, you will find too much cold. And with the help of the data, you have realized that yes, you need more jacket and sweater. So this is actually the job of data science. कौन सा मोबाइल कहाँ ज्यादा बिक रहा है, कौन सा कपड़ा ज्यादा बिकता है, which type of, है ना, कौन से प्राइसेस पर ज्यादा बिकता है. कोई बड़े शहर है, if it's a tier 1 cities, people prefer to buy costly jackets, branded. छोटा शहर होगा तो नॉन ब्रांडेड जैकेट्स स्वेटर ज्यादा खरीदेंगे लोग ऑनलाइन. ओके, कहां पर सबसे ज्यादा फ्रॉड हो रहा है, साइबर स्कैम सबसे ज्यादा कहां होता है, विच एरिया में, विच टाइप ऑफ पीपल आर रिटर्निंग मोर. ठीक है, विच टाइप ऑफ प्रोडक्ट्स आर बीइंग रिटर्न मोर एंड बॉट मोर. ठीक है, वेयर हाउस में कौन सा सामान, गोडाउन में कौन सा सामान रखें, कौन सा नहीं रखें. ऑल दीज आर डेटा साइंस. दिस इज जस्ट वन एग्जांपल. आई हैव गिवन एग्जांपल ऑफ ई-कॉमर्स एंड इट इज देयर इन एवरी फील्ड. बैंकिंग में होता है, मेनी थिंग्स में डेटा साइंस यूज किया था. डेटा इज एक्चुअली, इसीलिए मिस्टर मुकेश अंबानी सेड डेटा इज द न्यू ऑयल. बिकॉज सब कुछ तो डेटा से होता है ना. यू विल गेट एन आइडिया, है ना, कि अच्छा यहाँ इतना चीज है, यहाँ मान ली फॉर एग्जांपल कि अच्छा बिहार में एक सर्टेन टाइप ऑफ शर्ट ज्यादा बिक रहा है ना, ब्लू कलर का शर्ट. आई एम जस्ट गिविंग एग्जांपल. अच्छा राजस्थान में पीपल प्रेफर टू बाय ग्रीन कलर शर्ट, समथिंग लाइक दैट. पीपल प्रेफर टू बाय सर्टेन टाइप ऑफ क्लॉथ व्हिच यू विल नॉट फाइंड इट इन साउथ इंडिया. Or people prefer to buy a certain type of cloth in South India, which is not sold in North India. This sara data that is actually governed under data science and the interpretation of it. because there are so many billions of data. कौन सा data helpful है? Which data is helpful in selling your product? That is the idea behind this. इसलिए जब आप BSc data science कर रहे हो तो आपको पता तो कि data science क्या होता है ना? So using the data available in a scientific way, है ना, to get a particular result. You can give the example that, for example, sir, I am an executive head of the Amazon or a Flipkart or any other e-commerce company, and I get the data. You can give an example that, sir, actually, for example, let's say in December or January, there'll be more sweaters and jackets that can be sold in Delhi as compared to Mumbai because they are more cold. ठीक है, तो अब इस तरह एग्जांपल देके समझा सकते हो तो फिर लोग समझेंगे, ओ अच्छा तुम समझोगे डेटा. सो देन विद द हेल्प ऑफ दिस डेटा साइंस इंटरप्रिटेशन आई कैन रीच टू द कंक्लूजन दैट ओके there is more need for the cold clothing or the clothing for cold more need for sweater and jackets in North India and Delhi NCR region as compared to in Mumbai. So these are this is the basic interpretation. It can be at a higher level also. And which type of mobile phones people prefer to buy in which region, which country, which state, which type of clothing prefer to buy, which type of, let's say, house decoration people prefer in North India as compared to South India or in this state or the other state. That interpretation, which would be helpful in reaching to a particular result, that's actually what we taught, what are being taught in data science. Okay, simple. Data को interpret करना properly. That's the idea behind this. I hope it is clear. Let me talk about something about the current affairs. If you're interested in knowing all the current affairs, I would suggest there's a YouTube channel of Career Launcher also, Law Intense, where we teach. I also teach there. तो उसमें जाके आप playlist में जाके आप देख सकते हो. You go to the playlist of that and you can watch weekly current affairs. अगर आपको last 1 year का current affairs देखना है, but I don't think too much is required. तो आप करना क्या है, ये सब वीडियोस हैं. You go to the live section. उसको छोड़ देना अगर ये इतना नहीं हो पाए तो. Just go to the live section of the channel. और ये जैसे recent protest अभी ईरान में protest चल रहा था. It's happening. They can ask an interview. Because interview में generally जो recent events होता है उससे question पूछते हैं. ठीक है? Then recently Donald Trump has threatened of 500% tariff on India. तो ये वाला वीडियो है. Similarly आप scroll down करोगे इसी चैनल में, this channel, we are talking about this channel. ठीक है? Go to the live section, है ना? फिर नीचे scroll down करोगे, US attacks Venezuela. ठीक है, ये that was also in the news and Nicolas Maduro, the president of Venezuela, was captured. तो पूछ सकते हैं कि do you think it is correct? So you will say कि no sir, no country should attack someone else country's sovereignty. है ना? That is against the principle of non-interference. One country should not unnecessarily intervene in other countries' internal matter. ठीक है? So ये सब चीज आप बता सकते हो. Then let's talk something more about it. जैसे for example भी recently क्या हुआ था, इकोनॉमिक्स का न्यूज था, नवंबर दिसंबर में न्यूज था कि IMF gave C grade to India as far as GDP calculation data method is concerned. So 4 ग्रेड मिलता है A B C D. तो मैं दिखाता हूँ. A good enough, B basically fine, C shortcoming that can hamper. Means according to IMF, International Monetary Fund, India's GDP calculation method is not correct. ये उन्होंने कहा था. So C grade दिया था. So why? Because they said कि देखो मैं यहाँ दिखाता हूँ. First thing they said कि the base year is quite outdated. 2011-12 का जो GDP calculation base year है काफी old है. Now they should update it. So most likely the government will update it. है ना? फिर और भी जैसे wholesale price index use करते हैं instead of consumer producer price index. So there are many other reasons. One of the most important reason was कि we are using old base year. ठीक है? So फिर GDP estimates में कुछ confusion, like they according to IMF the calculation was not perfect, like not very correct. तो इसीलिए उन लोगों ने C grade दिया इंडिया को GDP calculation method में. Okay, that is what you should be knowing about. अब ये सही है गलत है, that's a debatable topic, but you should know about this. ठीक है, मैं आपको बेसिक आइडिया दे दिया. और लास्ट ईयर सितंबर में एक और इकोनॉमिक इवेंट हुआ था, वो था जीएसटी स्ट्रक्चरल चेंजेस, है ना? सो जीएसटी इज एक्चुअली एन इनडायरेक्ट टैक्स. प्लीज टेल मी व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन डायरेक्ट एंड इनडायरेक्ट टैक्स. एनीवन वाचिंग लाइव? किसी को पता है डायरेक्ट और इनडायरेक्ट टैक्स में डिफरेंस क्या होता है? एनीवन? देखो, डायरेक्ट टैक्स विच कैन नॉट बी पास्ड ऑन टू अदर्स, cannot be passed on to others. indirect tax which can be passed on to others. Direct tax and indirect tax. For example, income tax. If you are earning more than 12 lakh rupees, you have to pay the income tax. You cannot pass on to others. But indirect tax, for example, GST, that can be passed on. Just say, for example, you went to the restaurant or restaurant, you ate a food of 500 rupees. I'm just giving example. They asked for GST 50 rupees. So ये restaurant आपसे ले लिया, and the government of India will ask the GST this 550 rupees, but you are paying that. The government को उनको pay कर रहा होता है GST which they have asked from you. So it means this indirect tax can be passed on to others. For example, if I buy a biscuit, let's say कोई biscuit खरीदा, so let's say 15 rupees का biscuit है, मान लो उसमें I'm just giving example 2 रुपए का GST लगा. ठीक है, तो जो XYZ company is making the biscuit, they will ask from you. You are the buyer. You will have to pay this 2 rupees. This 2 rupee will go to the XYZ company and they will transfer it to the government of India. So this 2 rupees GST, XYZ has transferred to you, that you have to pay it. The burden has been shifted. So that's why it's an indirect tax. So GST is an example of indirect tax. Is it clear? And it was introduced into 2017 by 101st Constitutional Amendment. 1st July 2017. And 1st July 2017. And actually, there were 4 slabs, 5, 12, 18, 28, X0 bhi kehte the. Now what happened was, the slab of 12 and 28 were removed. So actually, pehle aisa tha, 0%, 5%, 12%, 18%, 28%. ठीक है. So now 12% and 28% has been removed. So 5%, 18% बचा और 40% will be added for certain luxury or sin goods. जो luxury items होता है. Sin goods मतलब जिसमें गुना, मतलब sin goods like cigarette, tobacco, ये सब को sin goods में आते. So now we'll be having 5, 18 and 40%. Now मतलब after September 2025 के बाद. This is the case of GST. That is what you should be knowing. ठीक है ना. So luxury and sin items now in 40% of GST includes, है ना. तो जैसे इस समय GST like पान मसाला गुटखा ऐसा 40% GST में लगेगा. ठीक है. So that is what the changes that were done in September last year. तो पूछ सकते हैं GST के बारे में, is it an indirect tax or direct tax? What do you mean by the indirect tax? Who is the head of GST council? एक बनती है, वो decide करती है कि how GST would be imposed, headed by Finance Minister of India. That is what you should be doing. ठीक है. Okay. Now there was one more event that happened in December, and that was about Vladimir Putin's visit. Vladimir Putin is the president of Russia. He came to India. So that was very much in the news. And one of the oldest friend of India is Russia. One of the most trusted partner of India. Okay. So he came actually. And why it is important? Because Russia has helped India during the crisis in 1971 and many other cases on Kashmir issue and many other issues. Russia has helped us. And we have bought a lot of, I would say in the past, since 1947 till now, we have bought a lot of defense thing from Russia. And defense, like a lot of Sukhoi jets, aircraft carriers, many other defense technologies we have bought from Russia. So that's why it's very important. It's a very important trusted partner. And after the beginning of Russia-Ukraine war, we have been importing almost 40% of our crude oil also from Russia. So that is what you should be knowing. So और बहुत सारे agreement sign हुए. Now here it becomes very important because Donald Trump, USA's president, is actually threatening India that if you are not stopping buying oil from Russia, I will impose tariffs even up to 500%. That is what he has threatened. So if India will export anything to USA, there will be 500% tariff, and that will make the goods costly in America. So that is why here also at this juncture it becomes very important. The visit of Vladimir Putin becomes very important. So एक basic idea होना चाहिए, है ना? And India has maintained strategic autonomy means will be neither biased towards the capitalism or towards USA or towards Russia or China, etc. We'll have our own strategic autonomy. Means we will not be impacted. Our foreign policy will not be impacted by anyone's threat or pressure. We will decide accordingly what is best for India. That's called as strategic autonomy. इस टर्म लिखा जाता है, ठीक है, फॉरेन रिलेशंस में. Now, one more thing that was actually recently in news was related with Diwali. Diwali or Deepavali was added in UNESCO Intangible Cultural Heritage List. So, intangible means which cannot be touched. So, UNESCO comes up with Intangible Cultural Heritage List. And the first one was Koteyatam in Sanskrit Theatre 2008 में add किया गया. फिर many others were added. The recent addition, the most recent, is Deepavali in 2025. उससे पहले Garba of Gujarat was added in 2023. Then Durga Puja was added in 2021. उससे पहले कुंभ मेला ऐड हुआ था and others. But recent ones में सबसे important है Deepavali that was added in UNESCO Intangible Cultural Heritage List. ठीक है. I'm just giving an ideas. Air pollution काफी news में था in the last 2 months. So we have taken a class. I've told you this is our YouTube channel for CLAT exam. You can go to the live section. इसमें scroll down करोगे. So we'll get this class on Delhi pollution. इसमें हम लोगों ने CAQM has been very much in the news. Graded response action plan. What is that? What are the problems regarding Delhi pollution? फिर एक इंडिगो क्राइसिस हुआ था December 1st week में. We have taken a class on this. You can watch it. एक और न्यूज में था मनरेगा. The name of the मनरेगा, MG नरेगा, Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. So that act was actually overhauled. I mean, the new bill was brought and it has now been passed. VBG Ramji bill. You can watch it. ठीक है. Okay. I think एक और चीज पूछ सकते हैं वो Republic Day guest this year. Republic Day parade will happen. Who will be the chief guest? So first of all, you should know where is India. This is Europe. Okay. So there is European Union. The European 27 European countries, not all, but 27 European countries have made European Union. Okay. And European Union has two offices. One is called as two important posts. One is European Council, President of European Council, who is Antonio Costa. The other is President of European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen. So this is a male, and she's actually a female. So these two will be the chief guest. President of European Council, Antonio Costa, and President of European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen. Okay. So these two you should be knowing about it. Okay. So these two are actually the chief guest of the Republic Day this year. फिर एक और पूछ सकते हैं Aravalli Hills related issues. That we will discuss because that is also very very important. देखो actually क्या है पहले ये समझो. This is Rajasthan, state of Rajasthan. Here is Aravallis. And Aravallis are very important. It is very old mountain, much older than Himalayas. So it stops Thar desert from spreading to the east. And there are many reasons why Aravalli is the nature has made this mountain and it should be protected at any cost. So recently, or 2 months back, the government actually gave a definition. So the definition, this definition of Aravalli, government gave it to the Supreme Court and Supreme Court accepted it. This led to hue and cry. काफी हंगामा हुआ. वो ये था कि for to be calculated as Aravalli, it should be, the height should be 100 meters. Okay, or above. Plus, if there is a gap of 500 meters between the two, for example, इसका 100 meters ऊपर है, and it is less than 100 meter, and there's a gap more than gap of 500 meter, so this will not be considered as part of Aravalli. Okay. So basically, why? The rough idea is actually this. Actually, there are reports that if you accept this definition, then 90% of the Aravallis will no more be considered as Aravalli, and this will allow mining to happen. Okay, and when mining will happen, of course, it will damage the Aravalli mountains. Aravalli mountains ka height kam ho gaya because it's a very old mountain. Okay. I hope you got it first. Ki Aravallis, only those mountains will be considered as a part of Aravallis whose height is more than 100 meter. Okay, first. Second thing is, अगर कोई हिल क्लस्टर मान लो ऐसा है, तो अगर मान लो ऐसा हिल है, तो अगर ये वाला 100 मीटर से अबव है, इफ इट इज मोर देन 100 मीटर्स, तो ये सबको भी अरावली का पार्ट ही मान लिया जाएगा ना, बिकॉज उसी रेंज का पार्ट है. बट अगर इस दोनों का गैप 500 मीटर से ज्यादा का हो गया, हाफ किलोमीटर ज्यादा का, सो ये वाला कंसिडर नहीं किया जाएगा. दिस विल नॉट बी कंसिडर्ड एज अ पार्ट ऑफ अरावलीज. Okay, I'm just giving a rough idea. So this matter, when the Supreme Court passed this order, accepted this, it actually led to hue and cry. काफी सारे लोगों ने protest करने लगे. Lot of people started protesting in Rajasthan, and after that the Supreme Court itself stopped this judgment, the previous judgment. जब दोबारा बात गई तो दिसंबर में सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने इसको स्टे लगा दिया, इस प्रीवियस जजमेंट. इसलिए अरावलीज वेर वेरी मच इन द न्यूज, है ना. एक ये डेफिनेशन और एक ये. That is what you should be knowing about. Okay. So ये सब आ रहा था कि मे बी अगर उस रूल्स को एक्सेप्ट कर लिया जाए तो शायद 90% अरावलीज will lose protection. If it is not considered as अरावलीज, then mining will be allowed वहां पर. So that was the fear among the people, and they started protesting for अरावलीज, है ना. पर गवर्नमेंट ने क्लैरिफाई किया कि नहीं, 90% ऑफ अरावलीज आर प्रोटेक्टेड. दैट इज व्हाट द गवर्नमेंट हैड क्लैरिफाइड एटसेट्रा, कि वो प्रोटेक्टेड एरिया के अंदर है, ऐसा नहीं होगा एटसेट्रा. खैर, लेटर ऑन सुप्रीम कोर्ट स्टेट द जजमेंट, its own judgment, which had previously accepted the definition of Aravallis, but now the Supreme Court has stayed. तो पुराने वाले जो जजमेंट था उसको स्टे कर दिया, रोक लगा दिया सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने. जो पहले उन्होंने एक्सेप्ट कर लिया था वो वाला पुराना वाला डेफिनेशन, ये डेफिनेशन 100 मीटर हाइट वाला और 500 मीटर वाला, 500 मीटर के बीच का अगर गैप होगा तो फिर उसको उसका पार्ट नहीं माना जाएगा. Okay, so we have discussed it. I hope you would have liked the session. Please press the like button, subscribe to our channel. एंड जो वीडियोस मैंने आपको बोला है इस क्लास में कि देखने के लिए, वो सब जाके जरूर देखिएगा. दैट विल बी वेरी वेरी बेनिफिशियल. प्लीज वॉच द इंटायर क्लास. दिस क्लास पूरा देखिए अगर आप बीच में ज्वाइन किए, अदरवाइज थोड़ा सा देखने से कोई फायदा नहीं होगा. यू हैव टू वॉच द इंटायर क्लास, दैट देन ओनली इट विल बी हेल्पफुल फॉर यू. ठीक है. सो दिस इज ऑल अबाउट टुडेज क्लास. प्लीज प्रेस द लाइक बटन, शेयर दिस वीडियो. थैंक यू एवरीवन. थैंक्स फॉर वॉचिंग.